diner was unusually busy for a Tuesday night. The clinking of plates, low chatter of customers, and the sizzling sound from the kitchen blended into a familiar rhythm that 23-year-old waitress Emily Carter had grown used to. She moved table to table with her usual warm smile, even though exhaustion tugged at her feet. 2 double shifts in a row would do that to anyone, but tonight she needed the money. Her disabled mother's medication bill was due tomorrow. Emily approached table 14, where 3 wealthy-looking men in tailored suits lounged comfortably. Their watches sparkled under the diner lights, and the smell of expensive cologne reached her before she even got close. They had eaten well, steaks, desserts, and drinks, and their plates were nearly wiped clean. "Is there anything else I can get you?" Emily asked politely. One of the men, the one with slicked back hair and a gold cufflink, didn't even look at her. He simply tossed his napkin aside. "No," he said sharply, "just bring the check." Emily nodded and placed the bill on the table. She stepped back, expecting them to reach into their wallets or at least pretend to check their pockets. Instead, the 3 men exchanged amused looks. "Wait, you actually expect us to pay for diner food?" The second man scoffed. Emily blinked, unsure if she heard correctly. "Sir, that is your bill." The slick-haired man leaned back in his chair, crossing his arms. "Listen, sweetheart, we don't pay for places like this. Consider it charity. You should be grateful men of our status even sat here." The other 2 laughed. Emily's heart sank. "Please don't do this," she said softly. "If I don't close your bill, it comes out of my paycheck." "Then maybe find a better job," the second man smirked. The third added, "Or maybe smile more, might help your tips." They stood up, brushing past her like she wasn't even there, leaving the untouched bill on the table. Emily stood frozen, her throat tightening. She couldn't afford to lose even $1 tonight, and they had just walked out owing $146.80. She didn't notice that someone at the counter had been watching the entire exchange. A tall man in a dark hoodie, face hidden behind a cap, slowly set down his coffee cup. His sharp eyes followed the men as they strutted toward the exit, laughing loudly. He wasn't just any customer. He was the billionaire owner of the diner chain, and he had heard every single word. The restaurant buzzed with its usual evening warmth, soft jazz drifting through the air, glasses clinking, families talking. But at table 7, a cold tension lingered like a storm cloud ready to break. Emily returned with the payment terminal in her trembling hands. She forced a polite smile, though her shoulders sank under the weight of humiliation. "Sir," she said gently, "your card was declined. Could you try another one?" The man in the expensive navy suit leaned back in his chair, smirking. His friends snickered as if they'd been waiting for this moment. "Sweetheart," he drawled, do you know who we are? We don't pay for service like this. Consider it exposure. You should be grateful you got to serve us." Emily's cheeks burned. She wanted to disappear, but she held her ground. "Sir, I'm responsible for the bill if it goes unpaid. Please, I just—" "What?" his friend cut in mockingly. "You'll lose your minimum wage job? Not our problem." Laughter erupted across the table. Emily blinked rapidly, fighting tears. In 2 weeks, she needed to pay rent. Her mother's medication was due again. Every tip mattered. She couldn't afford to lose a single dollar. From the corner of the room, half hidden behind a decorative wooden partition, a tall man in a simple black jacket watched everything. Every insult, every smirk, every flicker of pain across Emily's face. His jaw clenched. This was Alexander Ward, billionaire businessman and silent owner of the restaurant. He often visited unannounced, blending in with the staff and customers so he could observe the true nature of his employees and his guests. Tonight, he had seen far more than he expected. He watched Emily bow her head, apologizing for the 3rd time even though she had done nothing wrong. He saw her swallow her pride. He saw her spirit dim. The men continued taunting her. "What kind of dump hires a waitress like you?" one jeered. "My dog has better customer service," another added. Alexander's fists balled tightly at his sides. "Enough." He stepped forward, but not all at once. Slowly, with intent, like a storm rolling in from the horizon. His eyes never left the table of men who treated a hard-working waitress like dirt. Emily turned and nearly bumped into him. "Oh, sir, I'm sorry, I didn't—" He gave her a small, steady look. You've done nothing wrong." Then he walked past her and headed straight for the table of rich men, his expression calm but his presence thunderous. Everything was about to change. The restaurant doors slid open again, but this time the air shifted, subtly, quietly, like the moment before a storm. No one noticed at first. The rich men were too busy laughing, mocking Lily as she stood frozen with the unpaid bill in her trembling hand. Then a deep, calm voice echoed through the dining hall. "Is there a problem here?" Everyone turned. A man in his early 40s stood at the entrance, broad-shouldered, impeccably dressed, with a presence that silenced every conversation around him. His name was Alexander Reed, Billionaire, founder of the international restaurant chain Reed House, and the secret owner of this very branch. But Lily didn't know that. The rich men didn't know that. Only the staff recognized him and their faces went pale. Lily, still looking shaken, didn't dare answer. "Sir, everything's fine," she whispered, trying to hide the bill behind her apron. The last thing she wanted was trouble, or worse, to be blamed. But Alexander had already caught the tremor in her voice, and the way the three men stiffened. He walked forward, slow and steady, his polished shoes barely making a sound against the marble. "I heard shouting from outside," he said. "Usually that means something is not fine." The tallest of the rich men let out a forced laugh. "Just a misunderstanding. The girl here—" "Her name," Alexander interrupted coldly, "is Lily. She's one of the best servers we have." Lily's eyes widened. "He knows me? How?" Alexander gently took the bill from her hand, skimmed it, then looked up at the men. "Why didn't you pay?" The room held its breath. The men exchanged glances, suddenly not so brave. "Well, the service wasn't that good," one muttered, "and the food was slow." Alexander raised a brow. "Interesting, because I reviewed the kitchen logs today. Your table's order was delivered in under 9 minutes. The man swallowed hard. "And as for the service—" His gaze softened as he glanced at Lily. "She works double shifts, treats every customer with respect, and yet—" He turned his eyes back to them. "You thought it was acceptable to humiliate her?" By now the entire restaurant was watching. The men shrank. Alexander leaned in slightly. "You will pay, with a 40% surcharge for harassment, or you will leave, and my legal team will contact you tomorrow." The men scrambled for their wallets instantly. Lily stood in stunned silence. And Alexander, with a quiet kindness only she could see, said softly, "You deserve better than this, and from today I'll make sure you get it."